Jeff Fraley? I know I've seen Jeff Fraley. Jeff Fraley?
He's here.
There he comes.
Is there anyone?
He's coming.
Are people still in the other room?
Yeah, he's coming.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
members of the Land Use Committee. My name is Jeff Fraley. I'm a third-generation owner-operator of a waste management company here in Baltimore, Maryland. I employ approximately 20 people in the city, and I'm here tonight representing the Baltimore Industrial Group. I've been serving as their chairman for the past 2 years. On behalf of the Baltimore Industrial Group, we oppose the 13 amendments presented by Councilman Kraft in the Haven Street Corridor, District 1. We also support planning's original recommendation to designate these parcels with an I prefix or an industrial category. Reason being, the proximity of these properties to major freight routes is almost in their backyard, specifically to a CSX line running north and south and a Norfolk Southern line running southwest to northeast, complemented by Haven Street, which is a major truck route for freight being delivered in and out of the Port of Baltimore. I ask for Councilman Kraft to accept our objection with great respect. We've worked with him for years now. We thought we were on the same page when it came to this district and the freight corridor and the importance of it, but unfortunately I'm here tonight to object. Also, I've been recently brought onto the board of the Baltimore Development Corporation to represent maritime industrial interest in Baltimore City. And as we continue to lose industrial property like the ones that I'm mentioning tonight, it makes it really hard as an ambassador of the city to bring in the manufacturers and the industrial folks into Baltimore City. And it weakens our ability to compete on the East Coast and in the country as well. The more we continue to cut off industrial property in Baltimore City, the more that the ports like Norfolk have their arms wide open and they're inviting that business into their city. So I do want to take you back. I know I have a minute here. I want to take you back to 2004 when some of you on the Land Use Committee went ahead and supported the MIZOD, and I just wanted to take you down memory lane. It was a huge victory. The MIZOD was an overlay district that protected deep water interests, and since 2004, 2006, when it was enacted, we've been able to generate more than $1 billion in capital investment in these port-related businesses, and it's developed thousands of jobs. Thousands of those blue-collar jobs that are needed right here in Baltimore City. These blue-collar jobs at the ports and at the service providers for the ports, they provide family-sustaining wages, and they keep these folks right here in Baltimore City where they belong. Lastly, we certainly support responsible policy and the passage of TransForm Baltimore. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Councilman Kraft?
Jeff, no, and thank you. I know we have worked well together on many issues, and the chairman and I took the lead with the council on the MIZOD, as you well know, yep. And worked very hard to maintain that MIZOD. Councilwoman Spector worked with us very diligently on that, and we've been very careful not to take anything out of that MIZOD or change the boundary of the MIZOD. We're not doing it in TransForm, as you're well aware.
Right.
As I said when I met with you and your colleagues, these amendments are amendments that have been discussed in those neighborhoods with those community associations for years. And I have the votes from those community associations. I met with Delegate Hammond, who not only represents that area also, but lives 1 block off of Haven Street, who worked with those community associations and made recommendations to me along with the community association. And the amendments that I have put in, I believe, are responsive to what the community and the delegate are supportive of. So that's where I am on that. And as I said before, if you all talk with them and we still have a little bit of time, I'd certainly be willing to hear from, if there's any change on that front, okay?
I appreciate your remarks, Councilman, and if we were to pass TransForm and these properties still push for development, they would be looked at in a case-by-case circumstance, and we'd be more than happy to sit down and talk to the actual uses or the proposed uses for these properties to make sure that they're somewhat compatible with the adjacent rail lines and truck routes and industrial businesses.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
James Dwyer.
Good evening, Chairman and council members. I'm Jim Dwyer. I'm with the Maryland Port Administration. I'll be quick because my comments echo a lot of what Jeff just mentioned. The MIZOD was a bold leadership move by the city, and the TransForm Baltimore will make those benefits of the MIZOD permanent. So we are hopeful that it'll be passed. Our concern now deals, and we're in opposition to some proposed map amendment changes that might convert much of the Canton industrial area north of Boston Street to commercial mixed-use zoning with residential. The proposed map amendments would reverse decades of public policy that by allowing residential areas to be developed immediately adjacent to the freight rail networks and as well as the major truck routes. And these routes are critical to the future of the Port of Baltimore and the city's industrial areas. Both CSX and Norfolk Southern rail lines have right-of-ways through this area to the port up to their rail yards north of Bayview. And it's important to note that about 30% of the port's direct jobs are held by residents of the city. And the average port salary is about 16% higher than the average state salary. And it's also noteworthy that the port does provide jobs for workers with a wide variety of skill levels. And with that, I'd just like to leave a copy of the letter that we wrote last month with our concerns.
Okay, thank you.